accent. Oh, Hikaru! Hikaru, let's play this.
So I guess he did finally get it.
Alright, bishop c5, knight c6, castle, d6, h6, bishop e6. Alright, let's do something against this guy. Rook e8. Yeah, and it already becomes really annoying. Maybe knight d4 or something. No, takes. Then, you know, takes, and then some g5. Alright. This. Rook e6. Knight h7. Rook g6. Rook g7. Queen g5. Alright, takes. And then king h8. Queen c3. I'm up a piece against Hikaru. No, freaking for real. Wait, rook f8. Alright, c6. Knight g5. Queen f4. Alright, takes this. Queen f4. Oh, people gonna roast me. This. Nah, people gonna roast me for this draw. This was probably one of the best chances where I could actually beat Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. So last game I played against him, I played c5 and we got into the close c2, and I think he's removing this knight c3 move, because apparently it's very simple. If e6 knight c3 can be played, if c6 knight c3 can be played, and even if d5 is played, knight c3 can be played. But alright, e5, knight c3, knight f6, I have played against him this line before, and I think, you know, the game was quite close as well, so I was like, alright, against Hikaru it's better to play 5 because I generally have better chances. Though I still need to analyze the opening, of course. Knight f3, knight c6, castle, and now d3, d6, and bishop g5. Hikaru was trying to use the pin on h4 d8 diagonal, and of course knight d5 at some point might come, so I gotta act very quickly. So I first played bishop h6, then bishop goes to h4, and now bishop e6. At this point I thought that bishop e6 is probably the only move I can play, because other than that, you know, knight d5 might follow, and if I play knight d4, how computer suggests, I was afraid of some knight d5s, but apparently after g5 I'm more or less good. But again, you always gotta be, you know, sure that knight g5 doesn't work, because here I apparently have knight d5, bishop d5 takes, and I should be good even though queen h5, and if I take there is at least draw. So, but alright, let's not dive deep into it. Bishop e6, the idea is simple, just to avoid bishop knight d5 basically. Bishop b3, and here I decided to go for rook e8. If bishop e6 is played, I can probably play after x6 to avoid knight d5 in any lines. King h1, a6 to have some space for the bishop, and after a3 I decided to go for knight d4. Of course I could take on b3 first, but you know, if takes, then I gotta, you know, to deal with this d5 hole. So I first play knight d4 so that I can probably play c6 at some point. So Hikaru played knight d4, I quickly responded with bishop d4, and now f4. And at this point I have a very simple, you know, traits that I basically played bishop b3, then take, and then take on f4. Even though computer says this is a much more reliable option, as after rook f4 I can still play g5, and this is a much better version of what I got in the game, but still, you know, what I've got was winning. So that was the first blunder by Hikaru, which is f4, bishop b3 takes, bishop c3 takes, and d takes f4. And now I'm ready to play g5 to make sure this pawn is protected on f4. Though at this point I was like, maybe Hikaru should not go for rook f4, but I mean, he still did g5, and here computer says crazy queen f3 move is good, because after g takes f4, queen f4, you know, he uses the spin, and if g takes h4, there is rook f6, and I'm completely cooked. But to my surprise, Hikaru played g5, and you could see he played rook f5, which is a blunder. To my surprise, you know, that was kind of a move I didn't even expect. I didn't expect queen f3 to be played either, so rook f5 seems good, but after g takes h4 he wasn't really happy. He was considering queen f3 as it turns out, but here I would probably play something like rook f6, and if rook f1 I would continue something like You know, what comes to my mind is of course king g7, but apparently it's not that good, because here there is some g4 crazy move which gives white, you know, even some edge and some lines. So queen d2 was played, attacking on h6, so I immediately responded with rook e6, because I wanna bring this rook to g6 probably. Queen g5, now rook g5 checkmate is being threatened, so I gotta act very quickly. According to computer, the best move was knight e4, and after queen f4 just come back to f6. I didn't even consider this, I decided to play, you know, more simple, knight h7, and now rook g6 protecting f7. But Hikaru still could have played this rook f7 move, and I needed to play. I'm not sure what was going on with Hikaru, but I think rook f7 is the move which probably, you know, is really playable, because now, let's say if I take, there is queen h7, rook g7, and rook f1. So there's a lot of room for mistakes in this position. So Hikaru plays rook f1, rook g7, and here he was like, oh, this guy is playing like Daniel Naroditsky. You know, I'm pleased, because sometimes, you know, I face against Dan, Dan is super strong and super quick. So I play queen g5, trying to get the queen trade, rook g7, queen g7, because now, let's say if I play king g7, there is of course rook f7, king g8, queen g7 checkmate. So still gotta be very careful. Queen g7, queen d5, king h8, rook f7, and here again I could take on c3, threatening some sort of checkmate on e1, but then, you know, rook f8 is much more easier, because, you know, I want to trade as many pieces as I can, and if rook g7 now happens, rook f1 is a checkmate. So after rook f8, queen f8, still threatening checkmate, even though computer says knight f8 is a better move. I didn't really think that way, because now I'm threatening checkmate in 1, he gotta act, king g1, queen f6, threatening opponent c3, queen c4, c6, d4, knight g5, and I was slowly coming with my pieces, e5, and what you saw, and once again I apologized a lot during the stream. I should have tried and play this position for a win, but, you know, I was trying, of course, to find a way to trade queens, but, you know, in my head I was also considering some h3, let's say, but h3 just, you know, e takes e6, so I gotta first play something like d takes e5, and then queen f5 is obviously losing, so d takes e5, and then, you know, something like knight e4, still threatening queen trade, so he gotta play something like queen e1 to avoid this check on last ranks. So this, and yeah, it could have gone either way considering how Hikaru plays in time pressure, but yeah, I could have played for a win easily, but I decided, alright, queen c1, queen f4, maybe here I should have gone for queen f4, but once again, you know, it was kinda risky, so maybe first take and then queen f4, so that was much more reliable for me. But once again, yeah, last time was kinda scared, which of course I shouldn't be, considering I'm playing up a piece. But if it was a blitz game, yes, of course, I would try to play for a win, but, you know, bullet, you know, now computer says d5, queen h5, king g7, queen h4, and there are a bunch of checkmate ideas, king f1, and at some point, you know, knight e4 apparently is coming, king f2, knight f4, king f3, and very, very annoying. But yeah, after queen f4, king 1, queen c1, here we agreed to draw by threefold repetition. Again, sorry for those of you who expected me to win. I know I was close, but hopefully we'll get him next time. Alright, hope you enjoyed. You can roast me in chat, you know, always appreciate your comments, even the bad ones. I'll see you in next videos. Bye bye.